Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about a topic that has been on my mind for quite a while. And I feel like if you operate a business or thinking about opening up in a business, I think it's important for you to come across this topic because it's easy to fall into this mindset and really sort of pull back and recluse yourself and close a lot of doors and a lot of possible opportunities that could open up for you in the future. Now, when it comes to beginning a business and whatnot, you will learn a lot within the first year. In fact, you're going to pay what's called your ignorance tax. And the way I always explain this to people is that you are going to pay for what you don't know. Either you're going to pay in time or you're going to pay in money. Now, as you're going about business, a majority of the time people fail. And this, it does cross my mind. And I feel like any business owner out there, it may cross your mind as well. Some people are setting their goals and they're on a mission. That's amazing. I wish I could act like that every single day. But you do tend to get a little bit jaded towards certain topics or talking to people, and you may even view people a little bit differently, which is the title of the video, becoming a lone wolf, right? Going about life thinking that you're on an island and it's only for you, and it can be a little bit off putting to some people, right? Because you're always for yourself and you're not really being resourceful or helping others, or just it's all me, me, me. And in the past, I did suffer from that because I felt like, well, what's in it for me? Right? How can I get something out of this? Right. But the minute you start to think like that, right, a lot of people can pick up on it and they know that you're not applying any value to them, or you're not showing your true intentions. It's very quick, right? People are very quick to pick that up. So, for example, when I was younger, I tended to come off a little bit cold, a little bit calculated. I was very detail oriented, still am today, but being able to pick out the details, right? And I knew it, right? I would know the specs of the car, the heights, the trim, when it came to products or different car products, just very quick, very, very on it, right? But I didn't lack I lacked a lot of warmth, right? I lacked a lot of warmth, so a lot of people couldn't really couldn't really level with me. So it was hard for me to sort of attract business. And in the beginning, that's something you can't afford because you're still new to business and you can't really afford to act or even adopt that mindset. So it's best to really keep an open mind and be resourceful to people, right? Be resourceful and think of it like this, right? It's all about perspective. How are people viewing you? How are you viewing the other person? And even if you may not intentionally like that person on the personal side, on the business side, they might be 100 times more successful and very, very useful to you down the line. And they actually might have some insight on some problems or some ideas that you were already thinking about or you didn't even think of. And the beautiful part about that is that because you're able to share that opportunity together and provide value towards each other, they won't mind sharing how they were able to deal with a problem that you're probably currently experiencing, or maybe later on down the line when you're doing business, that you already have a game plan in mind. You already know what to do. So, for example, when it came to how to take payments, having a payment processor, for me, there's so many questions out there, right? Like, how do I set this up? How do I set up this? How do I set up that? And if you already have colleagues in that place, they're able to bounce ideas off of. Hey, man, this one worked very well for me. Hey, don't do this one. It just didn't work out for me. You're able to go from having to mess up countless of times, plenty of times, having to spend money, having to spend all these payments being withheld, to you now having it locked in and you're ready to go, right? You don't have to spend that time in between doing the guesswork, figuring that out. And two minds are always better than one. You're way better off dealing with problems and finding solutions when you're able to, to ask somebody, right? A mentor or someone in that space. And which leads me to my next point. I when I was younger, I tended to burn a lot of bridges, and that is another point that you can't really do. Like when it comes to talking to people and doing business with people, um, definitely try not to burn any bridges, right? You may not like that person individually, right? But you never know later on down the line where they can definitely help you out, right? It could be beneficial for both of you. Even if you necessarily don't like that person, you can always take nuggets of info and apply it to you, right? Keep what you think, right? And for my whole entire experience, having an online business, I've been able to Frankenstein a lot of what I learned from individuals and from what I've learned personally from other people as well. So take that as you will. It will be a very very long journey. You're going to mess up, but try to adapt a more open mindset and don't try to go about thinking that, hey, it's me against the world, because it doesn't lead to anything. It leads to you being very reclusive and people not wanting to work with you at the end of the day. And you know you want to be able to have those experiences and be warm and being capable of now have boundaries. It's important to have boundaries when it comes to doing business, right? And it's very very important to establish those boundaries and those expectations from the very beginning, because if you try to become friends with somebody and then later on down the line pull back, it just doesn't work, right? So it's easier to very much put up those boundaries in the beginning and then let them know and then pull back, right? It's easier to do that instead. And plus, on the plus side too, it's, there's a smart man learns from his own mistakes, and a wise person learns from others' mistakes. So also, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to like and drop a sub. We'll be dropping some more content. I really appreciate you guys. As always, you are your greatest investment, and persistence breaks the resistance. Thanks.